thanks for joining today. I'm Emily and we're here at the Creighton School of Business in Cindy Corritore's office. And today we're going to be talking about the Net Generation. So Cindy, who makes up the Net Generation and how are these people coming into the workforce different from those who were doing so, let's say, 20 years ago?
Well, that's very interesting, and we're starting to see these people at the university in our undergraduate courses now. What makes these people different is that they're the first generation to grow up entirely digitally. So from day one, they've always had digital media available, internet, and so on, cell phones. And for instance, in my generation, we were the first to grow up with television. And what that does is it really colors your view of the world and how things work. My generation was more broadcast. We were used to information coming from top down, one to many. We're big television watchers, although somehow it failed to rot all of our brains like it was supposed to. And the .NET people are more, they're not broadcast modeled. They're interactive. They're used to receiving information and in their interacting in an interactive way, not a broadcast model. That's not how they are set up to receive information, which is probably one of the reasons we have so much trouble in education today, because the broadcasters like me are lecturing or broadcasting out information and they're not taking it in as well as we think they should, and probably because there's a disconnect between those two ways of getting information to somebody. They're generally people that are anywhere from 25 to 30 at the oldest at this point in time. And so that's kind of the people that are called the Net Generation, that have grown up with the whole digital environment.
So what kind of changes will we see in the workforce in terms of the digital world, and what implications does it have?
Well, interesting question. A lot of people think that these people, and of course these are generalizations and stereotypes, but in general, they think that these people will totally turn the corporate world upside down. Because there's a lot of characteristics and a lot written and researched about this topic, but basically some of the ideas in the short time we have, one of them is they're more interactive and collaborative. The interactivity I kind of explained. Collaborative comes from a lot of the interactivity and also a lot of the kids this age that have grown up with gaming, and gaming is a very social activity in today's world, as opposed to in my generation, the gaming that was there for us as we were older. It was go in the room by yourself and play the game. So they're very good at collaborating, they're good at leadership, they're good at organization, putting a group together. In fact, a lot of people say in the business world, you know how you do chit-chat type conversation when you're meeting somebody in business, they say that it's going to move from sports and golf to online gaming. That's going to be the common vernacular that people talk about. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a gamer, but you probably grew up in an environment where one of your siblings was somebody who did a lot of games. So you know the vernacular, you know the ideas behind it, you know the words, and you can talk about it. Which is funny because I talk about that with a lot of my students, and it's just, it's a little ice opener. The other thing is these people are very creative, and they're very much about enjoying what they're doing. Which a lot of people say that's one of the reasons we're going to see them job hopping, because if they don't find personal satisfaction and enjoyment out of a job, they'll move. So if the culture is very straight-jacketed, and again, we're talking generalizations, but it makes me think of a company I went to recently. It's an entrepreneur. A lot of these people are entrepreneurial, by the way, because they're very creative and innovative. Mm-hmm. This entrepreneur has this company, and it's very successful. They have millions of dollars of revenue, and they've probably been in business 5 years. And when you walk in, it's a very different place, but right behind the reception area, across this big wall, it says, "If it's not fun, why do it?" And I thought, wow, that's interesting to see in a corporate setting, but that kind of sums it up. And they're also very, I'm not sure how you'd say this, they're flat in the sense that they don't work well in hierarchies. They're more interested in abilities. What can you do? So for instance, if you've got somebody on a project that's a net gener, they might look to somebody that might be at a vice president's level, if that person has a skill set that they think they need on this project, and it wouldn't really matter or occur to them that that person's probably, hierarchic, an organizational chart, they're kind of off bounds. They would go and say, you've got the skill set we need you on this project. So they're all about what can you do.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for joining us today, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to follow us on Twitter, visit our Facebook page, or even comment on this blog.